Hello everybody, I can write equations of sinusoidal functions using midline equals min plus max over 2, frequency equals 2 pi over the period, and amp sine freq x shift. Let's go through a couple of examples here, and then we will be done, and you can practice. Here, let's do this. So first off, we're looking at where the graph starts on the y-axis. So all this stuff over here, I'm not even looking at. I'm just looking at everything else. So I need the midline. Well, the midline is the min plus the max over 2. You may be able to determine the midline just by looking at it, but if you want a more mathematical way, which will work all the time, it's the min plus the max over 2. Basically, it's the average of the min and the max. So the min is -2, the max is +4, so it's -2 plus 4 over 2. That is 1. So my midline equals 1. I can graph that in. The next piece of information I need is my frequency. Well, my frequency is 2 pi over the period. The period is where the first full wave ends. My first full wave ends here at pi, so my period is pi. So my frequency is 2 pi over pi, which is 2. My frequency is 2, my midline is 1. So now that I have that, I can write my equation using amp sine freq x shift. Amp, my amplitude, well, it's from 1 to 4, so that's 3. Is it sine or cosine, positive or negative? Since it's starting at the positive, it's positive cosine. Freq is 2, x is x, shift is 1. Remember, y equals amp sine freq x shift. We use that and we substitute our components in. The only thing, again, when you're writing it, start by finding the frequency, 2 pi over the period, and find the midline, min plus max over 2. Let's take a look at a couple more. Let's take a look at number 7 here. Again, I'm looking where the wave starts on the y-axis, so this little piece I'm just going to ignore. I want to find the midline, which is the min plus the max over 2. My min is 1, my max is 5, so it's 1 plus 5 over 2, which is 3. My frequency is 2 pi over the period. Well, my period is where the first full wave ends. My first full wave ends here at pi over 3. It's not the last thing that I see on the grid, it's where my first full wave ends. In this case, the period is pi over 3, so it's 2 pi over 3. We know when I'm dividing by a fraction, we keep change flip. In this case, the pi's cancel, and my frequency is 6. Sketch in the midline, that will help you with the other components. Now it's time for y equals amp sine freq x shift. So let's go. Y equals the amplitude, well, from 3 to 5 or from 3 to 1 is 2. It's a positive cosine again because it's starting at the max. Frequency is 6, because I have it here. X shift is 3. Again, the shift is the midline. That's your answer. So if there's anything to the left of the y-axis, just ignore it. The period is where the first full wave ends, and frequency is 2 pi over that. The midline, you can eyeball it sometimes, but not all the time. What will work all the time is the min plus the max over 2. And once you have all those components, you pop it into amp sine freq x shift. Let's take a look at a multiple choice example now. If it's multiple choice, you really don't have to go through all that. We're still going to be using amp sine freq x shift. But now just look for some main components and cross out what it can't be. I would start with, is it sine or cosine, positive or negative? Well, if I eyeball it, my midline's somewhere around there. This is starting at the midline and going up, so I know it's got to be positive sine. So choices 1 and 2 are out. Shift is usually pretty easy. Shift is the midline. The midline is a little bit less than 10. I'd say approximately 9. Which one has a shift of approximately 9? Well, choice 4 has a shift of exactly 9. I didn't have to worry about the frequency. I didn't have to worry about the period. If they give you multiple choice, just look at the mean components. It's a positive sign, so cross out anything that's not positive sign. And then from there, take your pick. Look at your shift, your amp. Those are probably the easier ones, and you'll get to your answer. Just one more like that. Um, Looking at this, my midline is going to be somewhere here. So it is a negative cosine because it's starting at the min. So choices 1 and 2 are out. Again, if I do amp sine freq x shifts, my shift is about 5. There you go. So if it's multiple choice, I would just look at your mean components. It's negative cosine. You already crossed half the choices. Look at your shift or midline. Look at your mean components, type of wave, midline, I think, are the easiest. Amplitude's not bad either. Frequency is a little bit more to it. Not that it's impossible. We talked about if it's open response, but you can do these questions in about 5 seconds if you just look at your main components. That's all I got for you. It's very important. Practice. See ya.